project for professional English too. Okay, can you tell us a bit about yourself, your background, your personal background?
Such as where are you from?
Journey.
My name is Zulfah Zahiah. Well, I am residing in Shah Alam at the moment. Historically, it was from Perak. I moved to this area somewhat about 30 over years ago. Now, I'm working in this company, Faber Castel. It's already for 32 years old. I'm now living in Shah Alam. I have a family, 6 kids, and I do my daily traveling from Shah Alam to there.
Since you have been in Faber Castel about 32 years old, which is quite long, can you tell us about your involvement in Faber Castel? Since when you start and your role in this company?
It was then 30 over years ago. Started as a junior chemist in the company. We were then very small company. Was operating still in Mussaab Umair in section 13. Then the company was doing manufacturing eraser and stationery distribution throughout Malaysia. Then we grow from there to a new factory building in about 1994. Still also in Mussaab Umair. By the way, we have already in the area of Mussaab Umair on junior chemists, and then I come up into the level, into a managerial level. And in 2002, we moved into this new building here. This building is purposely built for our operation and designed for our manufacturing. And we have also warehouse and office. The office here is the regional office. From the beginning, I was involved in the technical part of the manufacturing. We do research and development. We develop methods of manufacturing. We ensure our products are safe for the consumer to use. We do manufacture our products conforming to the European standard and to the highest level of standard. Since that time, the company was only having about 60 over employees, and now we are having over 500 employees in the operation.
Can you please share with us your proudest achievement that since you have been involved in this company?
Well, throughout the time that sure is that I found myself in the product development, making new products, new formulation. I've involved with my team to make a few improvements on our most important product here in this factory, which is eraser. We introduced a few new formulations with best benefit to consumer and to the company. We call it the dust-free eraser, which is a very soft and good performance eraser. That was introduced here in this country. We made the formulation and make it possible to be distributed throughout the world. And proud actually to be the biggest manufacturer of eraser known to be in the world. Faber Castel, Malaysia claimed to be that. Back in 2002, then I was involved in building these facilities, and it was a big challenge because my background was not engineering. But then I have to be there as a technical manager and help the company.
Thank you to Zulfah. Next, I will ask you about your experience as a student. Firstly, you You know, when you were a university student, did you face any challenge in managing your time?
It is about commitment. Yeah. As a student, then I was away of a student. I was in Canada, not having family there, and we have friends. But then the commitment to study was the most important. That they have to travel so far away to get education. So education and study has always been the most important part of the life there. Whatever that is, first is study and making assignment complete. But that actually becoming a habit that it is not an obstacle to do that. You can do an extra time, a bit lesser, maybe time to rest or sleep. Yeah. But then that does not mean you cannot have fun at the same time. There are times where you go to college and attend the lecture, do your homework, and to prepare for the next day tomorrow. But then again, there are also weekends. Yeah. Weekends is always time that you can be with friends, having extra area to venture into. Here is about allowing things to go on. When there is time to go to school and study, you do that. It is time to be free and enjoy that.
Did you face any problem or difficulty there? I mean, like we know that you are far from family, but is there any problems that you face at Canada itself?
It was English was the difficulty at the time, especially on the first year. In Malaysia, when I was in school, it was in a rural school where English is hardly spoken in a daily basis, and the result of it was not so good. But so the first year was quite not that easy to understand people, not that easy to speak out to others, and so on. But that was a short-term kind of thing. That after a while you get to do it. There were also difficulties about temperature, too cold. But after the second year, it was from not so good thing, it became a fun thing. It was always about culture shock because it's a different situation. Missing families back home and this sort of thing. Yeah. But at the end of it, that is actually the fun part. From a challenge, it becomes a fun part.
Do you involve in any extracurricular activities there?
Well, not really, but there is more about having some activity with friends outside and so on. Yeah.
What are your advice for students to join any activities?
Yes, I agree. It is a good idea to join organized society. People are able to really build up their confidence level, able to polish on their skills of administration and also leadership. But then again, these are cream of the crops that is able to be there, to be in that position, showing and able to take a challenge. I'm, on the other hand, more concerned about the black sheeps of the groups, of the people, of the students. Those who is not able to be in that position of club and society and so on. But my concern is more toward this, and I believe there are always other ways of doing activity besides just with the organized club. That's why the interest will be among friends. We can always go and do activity with friends and able to show leadership with friends and learn a lot of things with friends. But nevertheless, it is important for students in any part of this situation to be able to develop themselves, their leadership skill, their administrative skill, and so on. Either way. So only thing that I feel that the opportunity should be and must be encouraged for all level of this student.
a professional here, how do you handle your project at work so that it will not affect the quality of your work?
I think pressure is relative. If we measure the air pressure in bar, zero is said to be no pressure. Yeah, and 1 atmosphere later on at higher pressure. But if you look at in the work area, that we have never used to that kind of environment, then you think you will have pressure. But if you are doing that every day, there is no pressure because they are relative. Then okay. But then again, once a while, we do have an extra loading kind of situation where you will feel a bit pressure. Yeah? What I can do in that situation is take time about it, maybe take 5, take a rest, just forget about the whole thing and get cool down again and come back to it. It is so important to value people, to value your colleague. If you do respect them and you value them so much, whatever pressure that you have, you just have to control it down. You will also learn by later on that we are all in the same level. We can be doing it better.
As a person, we have our career and our personal life. So, did you agree that we as a person have to separate between professional and our personal life?
Yeah, it is always true that we must have a good balance of working life and personal life. After all, we work for our other life outside the company. We get money here, spend it out there, and we have happiness and all the things from outside. We bring it here to the work. They are quite related. There's nothing much you can do about it. But then every company, every employer is always in the interest of making their staff happy. And in that sense, the balance of life for everybody must be there. In work-wise, whatever that we do, there's always a limit. At the end of it, you must go home. When you go home, you do whatever you do in your personal life. Then when you come to work, it has to be cut and you start anew. Yeah. So that we perform the best at work and we give all the love and so on to our family at home.
Since you work here for 32 years already, what is the most challenging task that you face along your career as a staff at this Faber Castel?
It is about the competition of the market. In the industry that we are, it is very challenging. There are a lot of manufacturers, a lot of players in this kind of industry. On the other hand, there are also a lot of manufacturers in other countries which is able to produce products in a much lower cost than we are. So cost of products into the market is very important. On the other hand, as us here as a Faber Castel, a brand that is very well known, we are very committed to give consumer the best product, the safest product, and at the best cost to consumer. But in order to give this best and safest product, we have to bind ourselves to certain rules to make sure the consumer is able to use the product safely. But on the other hand, we face a challenge from some brand that is not well known, putting up products into the market but not very safe. A lot of violation in the chemical aspect, safety aspect, and so on. That has become a challenge to upkeep the capability of the company to always meeting the requirement.
Since this company need to the standard to get the trust from customer.
Yeah.
How do you always handle your work and your clique to make sure that your work will help to produce a good quality product?
In this company, we work in a multi-level kind of situation where every steps and every work that we do is being double-checked by another department. So even in this department itself, we put up certain rules and regulations based on laws and regulations of other countries. We are always updated to them, and we always make sure that we comply to this. Besides this, there are also the other departments, like for example the quality management department. They are also again double checking our work and to make sure that we comply to this thing. And then there will be the sales and marketing department, who will always check the same thing again. Yeah, triple layer kind of situation to make sure that we will never go wrong. And when the product is going out of this company, it is always in the best situation.
So that you're saying that every department is closely tied together in something like for the product quality assurance, something like that.
Yes, everybody is actually having a common goal, and the information that we are having is transparent throughout all of these departments.
Now, I will ask you a series of questions about a reflection or something like about your opinion, your views on things, okay, or maybe your experience. Now, when you were a student, have you ever thought, imagine that you would end up here in this field?
Not really. In a way, when I was graduating, I hardly had a lot of knowledge about what it would be in the market, in the work market. Yeah, it was more like about, because the whole study was not really exposed to industry at that time. Of course, then it was an old system, and then as time goes on, going from one company to another, then it gives me a much clearer picture what is it going to be about. It was more like thinking about what am I going to do with this phenol group reacting with this acetone and so on, what kind of reaction it come out and so on. Then whatever we learn, whether this acid is going to react with this and producing this neutralization and the water. That's what I had in mind when I graduated. Nothing something like this. I think so, something like this, that is something that we learn again in the industry. And I really have to stress that the practice in the industry, it is very wide open. There is much more than what I have acquired when I was a student. But it has always been a very good basic to be able to understand all of that from the knowledge that I have had.
Who or what influenced you to enter this field of work? I mean, basically, something that influenced you to take chemistry when you were studying? In what way?
Back then, I'm not sure now what you had. Let me tell a bit of background. When I was having my SPM, I was in the science stream. There were biology, physics, and chemistry. I've always been better in chemistry compared to the other two. So I might be deciding.
So you're good in chemistry, right? So is it that because you have a passion to it, or is it that you suddenly discover that you do it? You
know that magic.
Oh, yeah.
How magic works, yeah?
Yeah.
You know how that we also do magic in the laboratory a lot of the time?
Yeah.
You know, when you do this mixing and that mixing, and then the color change from transparent to blue or transparent to magenta and so on, you know, that's kind of interesting. I always wonder why it happened. You know, how do these things react? I didn't see that in the physics experiment. I didn't see that in the biology kind of study or something. So must be that situation. Yeah. So and then again, I realized it is about the elemental reaction where you have to study and know the carbon, oxygen, hydrogen element and all the other metals. You know how they are reacting. Become very interesting and it grows.
Since we don't have a lot of time, I'll ask you one last question.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any advice to give to students that are studying now to what to do directly after their graduation?
In the real world, in the working world, the field is very huge, and my advice is that you have to really let yourself dig into any area that you feel you are most comfortable with. And most of the time, the graduating student, we are at the age of 23, 24, like that, yeah. So they actually have a lot of time to venture and decide what they want and what is suitable to them after they graduating by venturing into this kind of area of work. Yeah, and deciding what you want to do now when you are still a student may not be the best. Knowing it by some information, indirect information, if you have to decide from there, may not be the best. So the best is you go in and test to the area and work on the area, experience it and decide. But then you really have to make decision after maybe 6 months, after 1 year. If you think that you are not into that, you find another one. So that will always be, you will regret that you have to experience it before you decide what you want.
Sorry, but based on your answer, I have one question about you say that for the student to search different field of the industry. And then my question is that what is your opinion on job hopping nowadays? There's a lot of job hopping.
I believe in the world that we are, more and more people are being raised as an individual. It is more important value for the individual rather than as a group. You know, that's how freedom is all about. Which we need to allow that to happen. And what important first is that person, not the institution of working and so on, your company. It's not the most important, it is the people. If any worker that find themselves working in the interest of their heart, they will perform the best. If they are not interested in that kind of area, you would imagine that they will have to spend the rest of their life working in the area that they don't like. I don't think they will perform the best. Yeah? So let's do that.
Okay. Thank you for for answering our question and spending time with us.
Welcome.
Okay, that's all for this interview.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.